What's good, YouTube? How's everyone doing today? This is your boy Reg in the building. I got my homeboy Try with me.
Yo,
What up? What up? So, we are going to talk about the top 12 hip hop albums of 1989. Two, excuse me. We're going to talk about 1989 and stuff like that. Pretty solid year for hip hop. Still in the golden age of things. You know what I'm saying? A lot of albums will be experimental this year, hip hop wise. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Like cats like Barney Mall, cats like from people like from the native tongue, not native tongues, the flavor unit was beginning around this time too. He had, of course, the West Coast. It wasn't just the gangster rap. We had a lot of pop rappers from the West Coast too, like Young MC, of course, MC Hammer and stuff like that too. So
Yeah.
then you even had the South laying the groundwork too, as well too. You know what I'm saying, with the Ghetto Boys and Two Life Crew. So we definitely got like a lot of different picks when it comes to '89 and shit too. So without further ado, let's get this shit started. So my number 12 is going to be MC Light's Eyes on This.
Yes.
I definitely feel like this is MC Light's best album. I like Light as a Rock. It's a classic. That's my third favorite album from MC Light. But I just wish like the mixing was a bit better on that album. Like that album desperately needs a remaster to me. I don't even give a fuck if they fix up the sounding. They give us like all instrumentals or B sides, remixes. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? If they get a remaster, I'll get it. But
Mhm.
that's not really discrediting Light as Rock, because I don't blame that mostly on MC Light. I mostly blame that like on the engineers. But that's another story for a different day. I feel like Eyes on This was definitely her best album. Versatility. She was talking about like a lot of social issues around this time too, like drugs. She was talking about like feminism, stuff like that too, but not in the same wavelength as like Queen Latifah and shit. So I definitely felt like that was a very, very, very dope. Um Songs such as Cha Cha Cha, which honestly, I would say Cha 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 might be one of her signature tracks.
Man.
Cappuccino. I like the video mix a bit more than the Molly Mall. The Molly Mall version was dope, but that video mix is hit more harder.
Right.
Shut the fuck up, ho. MC Light's best diss track, in my opinion. I
You think
I
so?
I like 10% diss,
Oh,
and I love Steady Fucking, the song she had against Roxy and Shantae. But shut the fuck up, ho was she was just going straight for the jugular and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Hold on,
facts.
right quick.
Yeah.
Grandma. Sorry about that. My grandma was coughing. I had to make sure she was okay.
It's all
But
good.
yeah, yeah, shut the fuck up, ho is shut the fuck up, ho is definitely a very dope track in my opinion. Probably her best diss track. Cause I like 10% diss, but I felt like beat wise, it was still similar to Audio Two's Top Villain and shit too. So, but I've already done reviews on her first four albums, so check that out. This is MC Light's Eyes on This, 1989.
All right, I got Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique. I didn't really care for this album though. Like, people say it's a classic. I'm
Wow,
like, I didn't care for it. Like
it
I
is a classic.
I don't think it is. It's I like very few songs. Hey Ladies was good, and Shadrach, and
It's the sounds of
man,
science. Come
I
on,
just feel
man.
like they have better albums than this. Ill Communication to me is better. Hello
I,
Nasty.
I can't argue with those. I
You
mean,
know what I mean?
my favorite is Check Your Head. That's my
Like Your
personal
Head was
favorite.
great. Like, and it's like when people talk about their discography, they go to this album. I'm like, y'all really think this album was their best one? To me, I don't think it
Because
was.
I feel like it's a sampling. Because this album and
But
3 Feet High and Rising definitely set the groundwork for like a lot of those multi-layered samples and shit too. So,
I mean, the I mean, they use like Parliament samples and all that.
yep.
But just because they use, I mean, Redman used Parliament samples too, and his shit was better. You know,
True.
I don't know. I don't get it. I just feel like people overrate this album though. But I mean, that made my top 10, my top 12 because like there are a lot of albums in this during this year I didn't care for. You know,
I feel you. Because honestly, I feel like I'm gonna be cute a book. I feel like everything after License to Ill could either be an acquired taste to some people. Because when
right?
License to Ill came out, it was mostly the way how Russell wanted to market it to like the white kids, suburban white kids and shit like that too. But it crossed over to more of like it crossed over more like especially the hip hop crowd. Whereas
Right.
with Paul's Boutique, when they went to Capitol Records, a lot of people, a lot of the black community, they kind of like was trashing the Beastie Boys. Cause I remember
Right.
watching the documentary that they had like last year,
Mm,
and they were talking about how Don Cornelius, when they went on Soul Train, that was any time in that era that they really gave them love and stuff like that too.
right.
I'm not saying that they were like blacklisted. It's just
Mm,
that with Def Jam being like the premier hip hop label and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? They go to Capitol Records. A lot of the black community might think, "Oh, y'all going for the white label." It's like like when Tina Marie went to Epic Records because
right.
the Robbery album, which is my favorite album from her, commercially
Mm,
didn't do as good. Commercially didn't do as good as the It Must Be Magic album from '81. The album with Square Biz and all that shit too. So,
right. Right.
but me personally, I still bump Paul's Boutique all damn day. But I hear your opinion about it too.
Right.
Yeah, man. Off topic, I love the first season of Living Single, man. I mean, just the whole
Yeah.
freshness of it. I can't wait to talk about this show, honestly. Um,
I know you can.
yes, a show you actually like too, but hey,
Right. That's what I actually like.
yeah. So, album number 11, I gotta go Two Live Crew, as nasty as they wanna be. This might be a controversial choice, but I always had a soft spot for this album. I'm not the biggest Two Live Crew fan by any means. I mean,
Mm,
this is actually probably the only album I can listen to front and back from them
right.
and stuff like that too. Because Miami bass music is kind of hit or miss for me, very
Right.
hit or miss. But I feel like with this album, they definitely did their thing. I mean, Me So Horny, everyone knows that fucking track. I like Dick Almighty, Dirty
Right.
Nursery Rhymes, where that's pretty much based off the Andrew Dice Clay song,
Mm,
Nursery Rhymes 2 from the Dice album. The Fuck Shop, Badass Bitch. Like this album was so controversial, they actually got arrested because like they performed certain songs on in like this 1990. I want to say they performed it in Florida,
right.
like at some club and shit like that, and they got arrested, and like that actually made it in the news and stuff like that too. Like, and then you had like Uncle Luke being like this crusader for freedom of speech because he actually beat the case too. And if it wasn't for like as nasty as they want to be, we wouldn't have actually scratch that because I'm gonna say Ice T with his first two albums, especially the Power album.
Right.
But I feel like this album actually really made people like have the parental advisory sticker more
Mm,
and stuff like that too. So, and it was so controversial, they actually did a clean version of this album too, and even the clean version was dirty as fuck. So that
wow.
should tell you something.
Crazy. Number 11, I got Nice and Smooth. They first album.
Oh God,
It was okay. Another album I didn't really care for. Some of the songs was okay. Funky for You was a big hit, and I like No Delaying. Um, More and More Hits. They had some joints. I prefer the second album. I think that was great, and Julie Now. But yeah, this it's two albums so far I don't care for. That's on my list.
understandable. Shoot. Um, my number 10 is gonna be Third Base with the Cactus album. You know what I'm saying? Now this is the album that I really had a new appreciation for in recent times and stuff like that. Third Base, MC Search, fucking Daddy Rich and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Not Daddy. Pete Nice and Richie Rich. Excuse me. Damn, fucked up their names and shit. But
It was. I thought it was Daddy Rich.
yeah, that Daddy Rich. It was actually Richie Rich. He was like
Oh,
yeah, it was Richie Rich. Daddy Rich. I think that was Pete Nice's other nigga that he did with the solo. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, very very dope album in my opinion. I
mm.
go back and forth which one's my favorite, this one or dialects, the dialect or
Derelicts
dialect.
or dialect.
Yeah, derelicts or dialect and shit
Mm.
like that too. You know what I'm saying? Which we do have to talk about that album one day.
Yes.
But like you have songs like fucking Step Into the AM. I love that track. The Cactus, which that actually started between Third Base and MC Hammer and
Oh,
stuff like that. Well, they were dissing a lot of cats on this album, honestly. Like they threw shots
mm.
at Professor Griff.
Right.
Um, they're just somebody else too. Who else they this? Who else they this? I can't really think. Oh, Beastie Boys on the Sons of Third Base. Very underrated hip, very underrated diss track. But
Mm-hmm.
they came back at them with the Professor Booty out, Professor Booty from Check Your Head, which MCA killed Search on that line. So I'm sorry, but yeah, man. But this album to me also gave people the first exposure to the late great MF Doom when he was known as fucking Zev Love X, part of the group KMD, because I think MC Search was one of the people that brought KMD to the forefront. Like MC Search brought out a lot of people. Like he
Right.
managed and he put on a lot of people, like from OC, Nas. Yeah, man. Like shout out to MC Search and shit. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
shame that they broke up, and I know that now they're beefing with one another now and shit like that too. Because there was an interview that Pete Nice did where he was just talking mad shit about MC Search and shit. So yeah, man,
They've been beefing for years, so
for
I
real.
don't know. All right, number 10 for me is Tone Loc, Loc After Dark.
Ooh,
Dope ass album. Funky Cole Medina, Wild Thing. That's everybody knows those two songs. Big hits for Tone Loc. I love the production and he had like the rock infused sound in his music early with this album, and definitely I like this better than the Young MC album. So I don't know how Young MC could help him write this shit and then his own album sound like trash.
just like
You
fucking
know,
that nigga, the Adam, the 88 Keys and shit.
right? Yeah, exactly. Like 88 Keys, his album sounded like a college dropout. And yeah, this album was dope. I definitely enjoyed this album.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that review on that album and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, album number 9 is Heavy D and the Boys with Big Time.
that's mine too.
That's your number 9?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. At least we have one album we agreed on. Okay. So
Right.
yeah, this might be their most perfect album they've ever came out with, honestly.
Uh huh.
And shit like that. Even though Nothing But Love is like my favorite album, this
Mm,
one definitely birthed that true Heavy D sound, Heavy D and the Boys
right.
sound.
Right.
Like we got our own thing. Like you ain't heard nothing yet. Girls, they love me. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Easy does it easy. Easy does it. Do it easy, and shit
Yeah.
like that. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like this album was very dope. And
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Like no, that's my number 9. Big Time classic album. Somebody for Me was a great song, one of my favorites, and uh, Girls They Love Me, classic joints from that album. Rest in peace, Heavy D.
yeah, rest in peace, Trouble T Warrior too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, my number 8 is gonna be the Ghetto Boys, Clip It on the Other Level. You know what I'm saying? An album I definitely did get in my collection, but it's very hard to come by and stuff. Now, this is not really like my personal favorite Ghetto Boys album because I would definitely pick like the remix album, the self-titled The Ghetto Boys over this
Mm,
and shit too. But this is definitely another important album when it comes to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? This is when the Ghetto Boys was. This is when the Ghetto Boys was like in the middle of a transitional phase, because the original first album, it didn't have the like the classic lineup like the Space, Willie D, Bushwick Bill, and
Right.
stuff like that. I mean, you had Scarface, but he was known as Action and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Action spelled Akashen. You know what I'm saying? And the other members didn't come to this fucking album. And yeah, and then you also had like DJ Ready Red and shit too, the late great DJ Ready Red, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? I love this fucking album. This album is so fucking hardcore, so dark, so grimy. Like songs like fucking Do It Like a Geo, Let a
Mhm.
Hoe Be a Hoe, Size Ain't Shit. I mean, very, very, very dope record. I mean, this whole fucking album definitely set the groundwork for a lot of the horrorcore that people say. Because people always say Ghetto Boys was like gangster rap. I mean, I'm not gonna argue, but I feel like they were more horrorcore, especially the first. When I mean the first two, I mean like Grip It and We Can't Be Stopped and
Mhm.
shit too. You know what I'm saying? So, love this album. Definitely get my hands on this album.
Yep. Number 8 for me is MC Light Eyes on this. One of her best albums. You know, love the production. You had PMD producing a joint on here for her. The Slave to the Rhythm. You had Marley Moore produced Cappuccino. But I played that during the Marley Moore beat battle. I still prefer the video mix because the video mix is different from the album one. Um, Cha 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 was great, and Shut the F Up Hole, and Grand Pooba produced a joint on here. Well, he produced a couple joints on here actually. Audio too. This was a good album. This was they don't I don't think people mention this album a lot from her.
They
You
don't.
know, this was a definitely a great sophomore album for her from her, and yeah, that's one of my favorites from this year.
Definitely. Um, Number 7, I got Ice T, the Iceberg slash Freedom of Speech. Just watch what you say. You know what I'm saying? This might be one of my personal favorite Ice T albums. Probably my second favorite. This is one I never hear nobody talk about. It's always Power. It's always OG, Original
Mhm.
Gangster. This one has some of Ice T's best works. Like, um, give me 1 second. Give me one
Yeah.
second. Bro, you want me to give you some compliments so you can compliment? Okay, because if you keep on coughing, I'm gonna have to give you some compliments. Me sick. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So damn, where was I? So yeah, this has some of Ice T's best works and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You actually had it's actually probably the first album where he definitely experimented with metal, and which will lay the groundwork for what was the group Body Count. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope metal group. I need to get my hands on their first album, but only the first album where it has Cop Killer. It has Cop
Right.
Killer and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they re-released the album because of the whole controversy, and I know the
Hmm.
original version is very hard to come by and shit too. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I like songs like "You Played Yourself." He was talking about like sellout rappers. I love this one's for me. My favorite track, "Peel That Cat's Back." Oh my god! And a lot of these songs definitely had like a live instrumentation too. So
Hmm.
that's something interesting, But this is Ice T, the Iceberg, Freedom of Speech. Definitely want to talk about this album again with you one day.
Yes. Number 7 for me is Queen Latifah, All Hail the Queen. Her first album, great album. Love the production from DJ Mark the 45 King, and you know, Ladies First. Everybody knows that song. I'm Only Love, one of her best hits. And Coming to My House, it had like a house uh vibe to it, and Wrath of the Madness was dope. There's also a DJ Premier remix for Wrath of the Madness.
Yes.
And I love that remix. And you know, you had Mama gave birth to the Soul Children with De La Soul. Like that's like one of the early. native tongue collaborations, and it was definitely a great album. Like this is another album that I don't hear people mention. They mention Black Rain and they might mention Nature of a Sister, but that's about it. But her first album definitely like a great album.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Love that album and shit. My number 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Number 6 is the DOC with No One Can Do It Better. Um, I love this record. This was DOC being affiliated with NWA and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely one of my favorites and shit like that too. When it came to Dr. Dre's production, I love songs like Mind Blowing, The
Mm-hmm.
Formula, The DOC and the Doctor, Let the Bass Go and shit like that. And the crazy thing, DOC was a Southern hip hop rapper
Mm-hmm.
with West Coast fucking beats and shit too.
Right.
So you can call this album like a Southern hip hop album. You can call it a West Coast hip hop album and shit too. So
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is and shit too. And it's crazy. It's crazy too because I really wish like that accident never happened and shit because he could have been
Mm-hmm.
one of the best and shit like that. Like he ended up writing the Chronic. He writing the
Mm-hmm.
Chronic and shit too. So
Right.
yeah, man, definitely gonna talk about this album one day and shit too. So yeah,
All right. Number six for me is Unfinished Business, EPMD. Dope album. So what you're saying, big hit. Love that song.
that's my
One
number
of my
five too.
one of my favorites. Um, Jane Part Two, Get the Bozak. Please listen to my demo. Great joints. Knick Knack Paddywhack with K Solo. This is a dope album. It went gold. Definitely a great sophomore album.
Yeah, man, very good sophomore album. That's actually my number five.
Yeah,
EPMD's Unfinished Business and shit too.
yeah.
Very dope album and whatnot. You know, this was like the last album they were on Fresh and Sleeping Bag and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this album pretty much has songs like So What You Saying. I think that's like the best known track from this album. Like
Hmm.
dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun. Everyone used that fucking beat and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I know Beanie Siegel definitely did his version on the Reason with Memphis Bleak and shit too. So
Hmm.
that just proves how timeless this track is. Get the Bozak. But I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to like the first four EPMD albums, this is actually my least favorite
Mm,
because yeah, because there were a couple of tracks they went a bit too house.
mm,
Like you had too much to drink. Who's booty? I could care less for those tracks. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But everything else I can vibe to. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they call this unfinished business because some of these tracks were kind of recorded during the strictly business sessions, or they
Mm,
reworked some tracks.
yeah.
Because if you listen to songs like maybe "Please Listen to My Demo," "The Big Payback," it kind of has like that strictly
Really
business kind of
business.
feel. Yeah,
Yeah. That album.
yeah, man. But
Yeah.
that's not discrediting this album though, because this album still is like quality. It's a classic album still and shit like that too. But Unfinished Business EPMD is my number five.
I never bought it though. I like out of the main four, I got the three others. I never bought the second one.
Yeah, because I think this one's a bit harder to come by than the other ones too. Honestly,
Yeah.
God, I never
That's
seen this one in stores like that either.
I see people with it online, but they're like they have it on vinyl.
Yeah, I got mine when
Mm,
they did this thing like five classic albums, and then they had like the first five EPMD albums in a
right.
collection. So I was just like, fuck it.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm really gonna give her that medicine. But yeah, go ahead.
All right, number five for me is DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, and in this corner we discussed this album, and it's always been one of my favorites. I think I can beat Mike Tyson. Great storytelling track. The first track, Then She Bit Me. Great storytelling track. It had like a horrorcore feel to it, but it was done in like Will's way. You know what I'm saying? But it's like them going to like a haunted house and he gets bit by a female vampire, and I thought it was real eerie. Um, Everything that glitters ain't always gold. Love that song. Who stole my car? He talked about parking his car one day and then like it got stolen the next day, and that was this is definitely a underrated album. And again, like this is one of those albums where the fans don't mention it. They mention home base, they mention he's the DJ, I'm the rapper, but they don't give respect to this third album, and I always thought it was a good album. So
Yeah, honestly, that's probably my least favorite album from them, honestly.
yeah,
And it's crazy because it's not like it's a bad album because lyrically, Will was doing his thing, but I just felt like
mhm,
I just felt like the production was a bit weak and
right,
stuff like that in comparison to like the first two and even like the latter two and stuff like that too. So
mhm,
I okay, where we at? Number four we had number four?
yeah,
Yeah, number four, okay. It's Big Daddy Kane with It's a Big Thing. My favorite Big Daddy Kane album to date. You know what I'm saying? He had like a lot more help production wise, other than Marty Marl and stuff too. He because actually people forget like he even said that he did some stuff that was uncredited on the Long Live the Kane, and he also did some stuff here because people
mhm,
forget that Kane also produces some of his shit, but like he's not no. I mean, he's not no like Marty Marl. He's not no like Easy Mo B, but he definitely has a sound like he definitely utilized like a lot of Sam D samples and
right,
shit too. You know what I'm saying? And he also, and this is actually the first time he actually worked with Easy Mo B and stuff too. Prince Paul also was here too.
mhm,
Easy Mo B actually produced actually my favorite Kane song, Another Victory and
right,
stuff too, which everyone knows that fucking sample. It's like a James Brown sample that they used.
right,
Ain't no stopping us now. You know what I'm saying? Pimpin' It Easy, which Kane produced that joint too. Children of the Future, Young Gifted and Black. Like this was the album where he really wanted to like do more songs and stuff too, which it didn't really become quite evident until the Taste of Chocolate album, but
right.
songs like Smooth Operator, like this is probably like his best versatile album and shit too. So
Mhm.
I definitely fuck with this album, honestly.
Yeah. Number three for me is the Cactus album, Third Base. This was a good album. It's not my favorite. I still love Derelicts. I think Derelicts is a classic. This has some joints though. The Gas Face, that was a big hit. With MF Doom, Zeb Love X. Rest in peace to him. And Brooklyn Queens, that was another big hit on here. Step into the AM was dope. Product of the environment. It has some joints on it. It just wasn't my favorite Third Base album. I don't know. 89 was like not one of my favorite years for albums. There's only like a couple albums on this list that like I actually enjoyed. Only like four of them I got, but it was a good album. It just wasn't my favorite album from them.
Understandable, understandable. Yeah, man. Cause everybody, they have their taste, they have their favorites. Cause a lot of motherfuckers kind of like the more darker elements of parallels or dialects.
Yeah,
But people also realize that their biggest hit came from the album, which was the Pop Goes to Weasel joint
but
and shit too.
yeah, but
So
even with that song, that was too mainstream for them, even for them, because it's like they dissing mainstream artists like Vanilla Ice and Hammer, and they had a mainstream song with that. That was like the first song really that MTV played in rotation from them.
true.
You know,
Wait, they didn't play the Gas Face?
nah, not in rotation. I saw Gas Face more on Video Music Box. They
Facts.
Rap McDaniels played it more than Rap City. Not Rap City. MTV Raps will play it, but it wasn't in a video rotation. Like Pop Goes
Got
the
you.
Weasel wasn't a rotation like that. So like right after they play a Smashing Pumpkins video or Nirvana, they're playing that Third Base video.
Got you. Okay, I
You
see
know,
what you're saying. I see.
yeah,
Alrighty. Now number three is Queen Latifah, All Hail the Queen. Yeah, very dope album. I love this album. Probably this to me is like the best album by a female rapper. And I hate using that term, but fuck it. You know, um, she was really spitting on some tracks like songs like "Come Into My House," "Mama
Yeah.
Gave Birth to the Soul Children," like "Ladies First," you know, hell, even "Dance for Me." I love that fucking track. You know, it
Yeah.
definitely combined the hip hop and the house perfectly and whatnot too. This album and like the Jungle Brothers second album and stuff too, which the name's the Done by the Forces of Nature album.
Mm,
Definitely brought like house to hip hop, which we definitely got to talk about Jungle Brothers and shit one day
yeah.
and stuff too. So definitely love this album. All Hail the Queen. Yes.
All right, number three for me is Cool G Rap and DJ Polo, Road to the Riches.
Mm.
Classic album. I love it. Um, you know, the Poison joint, that's the BBD sample that for their hit Poison and Road to the Riches, Truly Yours. It's a demo, classic joints. Marley Marl produced it, a legend. It was great album.
Yeah, man. Very, very, very dope shit. You know what I'm saying? Hmm. Other than that, my number two is the Beastie Boys with Paul's Boutique. Um, I'm gonna say reiterate what you said. You know, I personally love this album and stuff like that too. I know like a lot of people kind of have their feelings about this albums and shit. You know what I'm saying? But this album it definitely laid the groundwork for like a lot of the multi sampling and stuff too. You know, they worked with the Dust Brothers on this album. You know what I'm saying? Songs like fucking Hey Ladies, Shake Your Rump, Sounds of Science, you know what I'm saying? Looking down the barrel of a gun. Looking down the barrel of a gun. Something like I love that fucking track. I even like the little montage, B Boy Bulla Best or some shit like that, you know, especially
Yeah,
with the
Bouillabaisse.
Hello Bulla Bass, yeah. That
Yeah,
a year and a day, Hello Brooklyn. I even like that shit, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely their most interesting record in terms of how it was made, honestly.
number two for me is Big Daddy Kane. It's a Big Daddy thing. Classic album. You had joints like Smooth Operator and Young Gifted and Black. I Get the Job Done, produced by Teddy Riley. I felt like that song was misplaced on here because it has like such a New Jack Swing sound to it. It don't fit the album to me,
I agree.
and that you can clearly tell that this is the radio joint right here. Just when you hear it compared to all the other songs, Mortal Kombat and Another Victory. That's clearly the radio joint. But I loved it though. I loved it. It was dope. Even for Kane at that time and you know Rap Summary, the Lean on Me remix and phenomenal album, man. Yeah, like his first two to me were classic. Like after that, it's hit and miss for a lot of fans. Like I love the Prince of Darkness and looks like a job for, but a lot of fans don't care for those albums after the second one. So, but it's definitely like one of my favorites for this year.
Yeah, definitely. And my number one is De La Soul's 3 Feet High and Rising.
That's my number one too.
Bet. All right. So this album was like one of the hip hop. This is the album that made white people love hip hop. I'm not gonna lie. Like this made white people love hip hop a lot.
Yeah.
Like, cause they call them like the hippies of hip hop,
Mm,
or whatever you want to call that shit. You know, me, myself, and I. That was a huge hit. You know, that still gets played in parties and stuff like that too.
right.
I love Cool Breeze on the no, not Cool Breeze on the Rocks. Ghetto Thing. I love that. Potholes in My Lawn. You know, Buddy. But it did have some songs. I mean, it ran for about 24 songs. Some songs could have been cut out. You know, like the interludes could have been probably cut out and shit. Like I could have cared less for Cool Breeze on the Rocks.
Right.
But you know, with this album, it definitely set a whole fucking trend and stuff like that too. You know, what people want to call alternative hip hop. It pretty much started with this fucking record and shit too. And even though De La Soul might say that me myself and I they did me myself and I as a joke because the label wanted like a commercial song from them and shit like that, and that actually ended up being I think their most successful song. So go figure.
Crazy.
It was actually the only number one song on the U.S. R&B. Hold on, right quick. Yes, Mama. What is it? What is it? Okay, I'll tell her. Okay, I'll tell her. Thank you. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I had to say about the album.
Yeah, it's a good album. You know, that was like the first album I heard, the rap album with like skits on there, and Prince Paul is a legend. And great songs. Me, myself, and I, and Say No Go, and Potholes in My Lawn. Millie pull a pistol on Santa. Like, all of those songs were just great. The album cover is iconic, and I think I was like in fifth grade when that album came out at that time, and that was great. I need to get that on CD, man. I had that on cassette back in the day, but that was a great album.
Yeah, I know it can be kind of hard to come by on CD
Yeah.
and shit too.
Oh, vinyl and cassette, all that. Yeah,
Right, especially with what's going on with like the estate and then them not being on streaming.
yeah,
Cause I actually saw what was the album, the 2000 album on vinyl, but at the moment I'm trying to save some money. I'm not trying to
yeah.
buy any albums for like probably next month and shit
Right,
too, because
right. Cool.
I might get a new job next week, so I'm trying to like save some bread, get a few paychecks rolling.
Okay.
So hopefully before this year's over, I can actually do another collection video and shit. So yeah,
Cool.
but
Right,
yeah, I think the most album I've seen from them is like the Grind Day. That's the most common album I've seen from them on stores.
right.
Oh, and the Anonymous Nobody album too.
Yeah, that was okay. That had some drinks.
It was decent. Yeah, it was too many guest appearances.
Yeah,
Like
even
Usher,
for them,
what the hell is Usher doing with De La Soul?
I
Like
didn't understand that.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, no.
All
Two
right.
chains and was on that. And, God,
Shit. Well, I got three honorable mentions. I was gonna actually name right quick before I go
yeah.
help my grandma out and shit.
Oh,
My first honorable mention, I gotta go with LL Cool J's "Walking with the Panther"
yeah.
and stuff like that. Generally, this album's kind of growing on me in recent years and stuff like that. I could care less for the love songs, but one day if I do a re-review on this, I'll probably give them a more fair chance.
Mhm.
Next album is Cool G Rap and DJ Polo Road to the Riches. Again, another very good album and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Is it did have a bit filler, like some filler tracks. Like I could care less for the She Loves Me Not, which that might be the closest we'll ever get a love song from Cool G Rap
Right,
and stuff like that too. Production was good. I just felt like it was a good album, but it wasn't a great album. I'm just gonna be real with y'all and shit like that too. And the last album, this might be a surprise to many, but I'm gonna go with Gangstar's "No More Mr. Nice Guy." Actually, scratch that. Scratch that. I have four honorable mentions.
okay.
Gangstar's "No More Mr. Nice Guy" and Donald D's "Notorious." I forgot that album came out in '89 too, but
Right.
yeah, Gangstar's "No More Mr. Nice Guy" was very dope album. They were still trying to find their sound, but I liked it. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
fucking liked it. But Donald D's "Notorious" from Ice T's dude from the Rhyme Syndicate. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
That album was definitely a very underrated album. I loved the production, and he even did some of the production with Africa Islam himself. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So those are more of my honorable mentions.
I ain't got nothing. For first time since we've been doing this, I ain't got nothing. I didn't care for '89 like that.
I feel you. I feel you.
Whatever album is on there is on there. So no honorable mentions for me.
I got you.
And I
Well, that
and there's some albums that I have that I don't think were good though. Like Kwame, I have Kwame's album from that year. I don't think it was good to make this list or to even mention it.
I didn't care too much for Kwame. I mean, I
You know
like
what
him
I
more
mean?
as a producer,
Yeah.
honestly.
And that was a gift like that. Like that was given to me like years ago, but I don't think it was good to mention or to make the list. So there's some of those, like I said, Young MC album I have. I don't like it. So some of those albums didn't make the list and they're not mentionable.
Got you. Yeah, man. So that concludes, the 1989 hip hop list. All right, I did about. I think I'm gonna go back to R&B, the R&B list and
Okay.
shit like that. I guess now is the right time to do the art top R&B albums of 1993 next week.
Yeah, let's do that. Well, how many we doing for that?
Ooh, shit. Fuck. You know what? Let's raise the bar up. You know what? Let's do lucky number 13.
13? Okay.
We'll probably do that Sunday night.
All right. Is
Let
that
me just.
live or we just taping it?
Oh no, taping. I'm still. I usually
Okay.
take these countdown lists anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, cause Oh my god. Hold on, right quick. One more time.
Yeah.
Grandma, Uncle Mervin's on the phone. Uncle Mervin. That's why I don't like doing this shit in the afternoon.
Right.
Hold on. He's on the phone right now. I just pulled up the phone for you. Okay, then hang up, Grandma. Damn, I'm done to do this fucking meeting. Damn. God. All right.
Mhm.
So next week is just gonna be the 1993. It's probably next Sunday and stuff. Just hang up the phone. Just hang up if he's not there. Just hang up if he's not answering. Just yeah, he'll call back probably. Jesus Christ. Okay. So next Sunday, it's gonna do like the top 13 of 1993 R&B and stuff like that.
Yes.
All right.
That'll be a better list.
Yeah. That'll probably be Sunday night. Yeah. As of now, that's gonna be the only video. As of now, I'll let you know what else we got planned out for that week. So I'll probably drop this maybe Saturday or some shit.
All right.
But other than that, hope you have a good day, bro. Thank you so
You too.
much, and make sure y'all subscribe and like this video. And I will see y'all later. Peace.